my dear patient audience, those of refinement, education, noble sensibility. Yes, no. Today's tale is one of misadventures, misplaced trust, and the unmistakable aroma of barbarism masquerading as destiny. Yes, you see, after my dignified and thoroughly ceremonial experience in Alfred's, I found myself quite unintentionally aboard a jump ship of questionable registry. Yes, my navigator, a man whose grasp of geography could charitably be described as optimistic, assured me that we would be en route to the outskirts of Davian space, and I believed him. Fool that I was, yes, most certainly. Instead, fate, or perhaps some cosmic sense of humor, saw fit to deposit me amidst the holdings of none other than Clan Jade Falcon. Yes. The first indications that something was amiss came when our ship was hailed by an individual referring to himself as Star Captain whatever the name was. I confess it was an avalanche of continence and self-importance that defied recall. The tone, however, I remember well. Cold, clipped, and dripping with the kind of arrogance one normally associates with a minor nobility who had just inherited their first estate and promptly let the gardens die. Yes. They demanded, most discourteously, to identify myself and my intentions. I, being a man of decorum, responded with an introduction of suitable grandeur. Sir Bartholomew Featherstonehaugh, gentleman explorer, scholar of the fine worlds, and special attaché to the Federated Suns. Yes, the reply was, I regret to report, laughter. Yes, could you believe it? Actual laughter. Through an open comms line. I was not amused. Now, upon my arrival to their world, a bleak, windswept place of metallic structures and desperately little in the way of proper cuisine, I was invited, though I use that word loosely, to attend a trial of grievance. Yes. Apparently, this is how they settle disputes, by brawling in battle armor, shouting insults, and wrecking perfectly good landscape. To my astonishment, this is not considered barbaric. Instead, it's considered custom. Now, I am no stranger to martial spectacle. I have dined beside Davian generals, toasted with Uritan officers, and once shared cigars with a Steiner noble whose training drills sounded suspiciously like artillery duels. These Falcons seem to lack the polish of proper soldiery. Yes. The Meg warriors strutted about like peacocks, dripped in war paint, reciting oaths to obscure ancestors and proclaiming themselves superior to all who breathe. Now, one particularly belligerent warrior challenged another for failing to salute at the correct angle. The duel ended, predictably, in catastrophe, explosions, and much cheering. As I attempted to make polite conversation with the so-called Khan, I was treated to a lecture, an hour-long lecture, mind you, of the purity of their bloodline, and the righteousness of their cause, and the inferiority of the inner sphere. I listened and nodded in intervals, while quietly wondering if their genetic perfection had come at the cost of basic manners. Yes. At one point, I asked whether they had anything resembling a parliament, or perhaps a council of moderation, something to balance their exuberance. The Kong blinked at me as though I had inquired whether they hosted afternoon tea. Yes. Tea, incidentally, they do not have, only a grey steaming liquid that tastes like someone had whispered herbal into a cup of hot water. Yes, truly undignified. Their cities, if one may call them that, are efficient but joyless. Not a single opera house, not a gallery, not even a tavern of respectable disrepute. Merely endless barracks, training fields, and mechanical depots. The architecture is pure function, square, cold, and devoid of imagination. It is as though they declared war on comfort itself. Yes, could you believe it? Their people, too, are of a singular mind, disciplined to the point of mania, humorless and entirely devoid of that twinkle in the eye that separates civilization from mere existence. When I remarked upon the starkness of their attire, one warrior solemnly informed me that frivolity is a weakness. I naturally replied that frivolity is the mark of society secure enough to afford it. He simply stared, and I sipped my dreadful tea. Yes, it was draw. Eventually, after what felt like a lifetime spent among militarized zealots who'd never heard of Hors d'Oeuvre, I was released, though I suspect they were more eager to be rid of me than I was to leave. Yes, my hospitality repaid with a curt, "You may go," and I departed their space with a mixture of relief and renewed appreciation for the civilized worlds of humanity. Yes. As the stars slipped by and the Jade Falcon system dwindled behind me, I reflected on what I had learned. The clans, for all their self-proclaimed superiority, have no soul of art, no patience for discourse, and no concept of leisure beyond the act of conquest. They are a people of steel and arrogance, bound by their own myth of purity, tragic ignorant of the subtler pleasures of life, wine, wit, and the occasional poetry reading by candlelight. Yes, and so I raise a toast in my cabin, as is my custom, to the Falcons. May they someday discover that victory without grace is merely noise. My tea is cold, my patience frayed, and my spirit soared. For nothing renews one's appreciation for civilization quite like surviving a visit to those who have forsaken it. Yes,